The cops this month had a lot of negative publicity. They drugged the
This month?
This month, right?
this month. This month they had the older black lady they drug out the car. They had the guy from Milwaukee Bucks, Sterling Brown. His video came out, and they had the video I saw recently with the lady getting UFC on the beach.
That's it.
So I'll start with you, Robin. Can you make sense of the cops? What do you think we need to do? Like, what needs to happen?
It's an unfortunate situation because I don't know if there's anything we can do. I mean, when you're dealing with, the cops, you're dealing with the government, you're dealing with the higher ups. Like, at the end of the day, they are going to do whatever they want to do, which is not right.
Exactly. That's the main problem I have. Like, they work for the community. They do not rule the community. We're not in a dictatorship. They are appointed officials, basically. That we elect the sheriff that then, he puts his staff in place through the hiring process. Like they're not there to, they're there to maintain order and to get in between things and to serve the community. They're not there to tell us what to do and enforce this police state upon us. That's not their job.
As we see, though, they can do whatever they want to do. Like, the whole thing with the last few years was getting body cams so we can see firsthand, so that could slow down situations and help out with that. Well, they have body cams, and that's still not changing anything. You know what I mean? So it's like...
I was going to say, do you think that's helped?
No, not at all. And I often think to myself, like, I really need to really sit down and know my rights, know my, these laws. And then sometimes I'm like, what's the point? What's the difference? Because I can know all my rights, all my laws, and they're still going to do whatever the hell they want to do.
They change it on the fly.
Sean?
My buddy, perfectly
I'm sorry.
simple. No, my buddy, he just got his boat, and when he was dropping it off at the dock, the Coast Guard came up, and he's like, "Hey, what do I need to do?" And they told him what he needed to do with the letters to make sure everything was properly registered and everything like that. He put it on exactly how the Coast Guard told him. On the way home, he got pulled over by the sheriff's office, saying, "Oh, no, it's supposed to be this way." It's like, hold on, you got the Coast Guard telling me it's this way. You got the sheriff's office telling me this way. Like if you're going to enforce all these rules to the letter of the law and ignore common sense in most occasions, then at least be on the same page with all the governing bodies. And my number one problem with the police situation is not... obviously they use an excessive amount of force in numerous situations.
Obviously.
I don't think every single example is that. However, if you take, like they say, one of my police buddies was telling me one time, he goes, "Well, that's a problem policing these neighborhoods. We're trying to go in there and investigate a crime in this neighborhood, and nobody will cooperate with us." It's like you have these people that claim that they live in a bad area, but then when we say, okay, well, we need information about these bad people, and they won't give it to us. I'm like, well, turn that around on yourselves, because when a cop does something bad, 9 times out of 10, they rush to their defense first and say, "No, you got to protect the shield at all costs." They'll cover up for him. They'll lie for him. They'll do all these different things for him because they're the biggest gang in the world.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they
oh, wow.
Well, look, they got their colors. They got their code of conduct. They got their, they got their initiation. It's the same.
They got their initiation?
They do. It's the same deal, except, getting jumped in and selling a bunch of dope. You just got to go to the police academy first. And, it's always a brotherhood. That's what they stress. They stress it's like this is a second family. You'll spend more time with your fellow officers than you will your family at home.
Yeah.
And they protect themselves at all costs. And that is what I think a lot of the problem is. It's like if you are a good officer and you are sticking up for and covering up for a bad officer, then I think you fail to become a good officer.
Sean?
Guarantee you we don't have enough time. But to answer your question, what do we do? Number one is we have to educate ourselves on the people that we're electing. Like 9 times out of 10, what usually happens, especially amongst blacks, is when it's time to vote, you vote president. Everybody else, you're just filling in bubbles because you don't know who does what and what they're standing for or anything. Like half of it is you have to educate yourself on what this person stands for, what this person's about. The other half is you have to educate yourself on the law. And once you're there, then you got to stand up. Like all of this, hashtag, Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff. That only matters when something happens. You know,
That's true.
everybody, it's a hashtag and it's a massive post.
It's trendy. It's trendy.
Right,
That's
and then
all.
everybody goes back home to wherever they stay and worry about their situation. Like, it can't, like, civil rights movement was a movement. Number one, they knew what the law was. They knew what could and couldn't happen. They knew what they could and couldn't do. They knew what they were standing for, and they risked everything. It was, I'm not going to work today. I'm not going to school. I'm on the front line.
In order to have the bus boycott, a lot of people didn't go to work. A lot of people had to not go to work.
And if they did, they walk like, we not here anymore. Like right now, we're so content and comfortable that it's easier to hashtag Black Lives Matter from your desk at work. It's easier to post. Oh my God, this is such a
Black
shame.
Lives Matter.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes, boss. Oh,
It's
I'm right on it right now. Right.
It's easier to repost T.I. and D.L. Hughley and go about your business and you feel like I did something. Oh, that's ridiculous. We was talking about that at work today. As you're sitting in your dining room, like
At work.
ain't no more frontline shit.
Nah.
And if you want change, you got to stand up and put yourself in front of change. You have to demand it. You have to show, and you have to do it educated.
And